Bonjour October, fall is in full swing, so the real question is, what are you wearing? I highly suggest you head to Apple TV Plus for La Maison. It is la haute couture of télévision. It's about two big rival fashion houses, and it really takes us not only into the industry, but inside the très complicated family dynamics and all of their psychodrama and dysfunctional dynasties. It's kind of like Succession meets The Devil Wears Prada meets Emily in Paris. It strikes the perfect balance between entertainment and emotion and between vintage French fashion and a more modern glimpse of the world of la mode today. It's so much into one show. There's heavier material like corporate espionage and the terminal diagnosis and deep-rooted family trauma, but there's also some light color, and since we are in France after all, there are love affairs, beautiful people in beautiful clothing, spending time in beautiful buildings. Oh, and we really get to see Paris at its most très chic. And it stars the front row of cast: Lambert Wilson, Carole Bouquet, Amira Kazar, Zita Hanro, Antoine Reinhardt. It's definitely a must-have for your fall fashion wardrobe. Now that you're all dressed up and ready to hit the town, if you can't decide between spending a night at the movies or a day at the museum, then Dali is coming to cinemas. Yes, Dali. That's 6 A's and an exclamation point. Like its title, the film is totally absurd, but also hilarious. It's from master of the absurd, Quentin Dupieux, who is the perfect person to bring Salvador Dali to life on the big screen. Dali is played at different ages by different actors: Edouard Baird, Gilles Lelouch, Jonathan Cohen, Pio Marmaille, Didier Flamand. They look nothing alike, but they somehow manage to capture the artist's mustache and mannerisms. The premise is surreal. There's no real beginning, middle, and end. It's all anachronistic. There is a plot technically about a young journalist, Anaïs de Moustier, who's trying to interview the painter, but, well, let's just say things don't go as planned. Romain Duris is thrown into the messy mix. He plays a producer who tries to convince the journalist to capture Dali on film. And from there, we're kind of thrown into this mise en absurde. It's a dream within a film, within a painting, within a je ne sais pas quoi. It's bananas, but somehow it's so wild, it just works. If you love a good educational artist biopic, this is not the film for you. This is not that. But it will keep you entertained and escape from everything happening in this wild, crazy bananas world. And time will just melt away like the clocks in the persistence of memory. Next up, another completely unique vision of art, Dahomey, from French-Senegalese filmmaker Mary Diop. It won the top prize, the Golden Bear, at this year's Berlin Film Festival, and it's a contender for the Oscars this year. And like Dali, it's so singular, it's almost hard to describe. It's technically a documentary, but it's also a moving poem. There's elements of fantasy. It's like a history lesson and a ghost story in one. It's haunting, it's powerful. And the title refers to the West African kingdom of Dahomey. It's located in the south of what is today's Benin, or the Republic of Benin. It starts off just a few years ago in Paris when 26 royal treasures from the former kingdom are being packed up to leave the Musée du Quai Branly to return to their country of origin. They were among thousands of artifacts that were taken by French colonial troops in 1892, and they've since been on display in French museums. And the film is told partly in the voice of one of the objects. It's a wooden statue of King Gezo of Dahomey, or just known as Object Number 26. The voice is hypnotic, it's poetic, it's almost futuristic or robotic sounding, which is a really interesting way to connect the past and the present, as this film does. It warps all sense of reality, and the film cuts to university students in Africa debating, brilliantly and passionately debating, the object's return to the country and all of the political and philosophical questions it raises about culture, colonialism, that spark debate not only within the film, but will really have you thinking and rethinking quite a bit after the credits roll. It deals with serious, deep-rooted issues, but It's also not dark or dreary. It's instead really illuminating in all senses of the term. It's educational without being didactic, and the director somehow manages to keep her gaze free of any judgment. It's a very important film to see, but also a beautiful one too. It's mesmerizing and it's truly unforgettable. So voila, wishing you an amazing automne. Au revoir.